In the heart of Java, amidst the dawn of the 17th century, a new power was rising. This was the Mataram Sultanate, and at its helm was a ruler destined for greatness, a man whose name would echo through the archipelago for centuries, Sultan Agung, Hanya Krokosumo. Born Raden Mas, Jatmika, he ascended to the throne in 1613, inheriting a kingdom that was strong, but not yet the dominant force he envisioned. The Java of his time was a tapestry of competing powers, with local lords and coastal city-states all vying for influence. But Sultan Agung had a grander vision. He saw a unified Java under one banner, one faith, and one ruler. His ambition was not just for political power, but for a cultural and spiritual renaissance that would define Javanese civilization. His reign began with a series of brilliant military campaigns. One by one, he brought the powerful coastal cities of northern Java under his control. Surabaya, a formidable trading port and a major rival, was his primary target. The siege of Surabaya was not a swift victory. It was a long, arduous struggle that tested the limits of Mataram's military might and Sultan Agung's strategic genius. He didn't just use brute force. He used clever tactics, damming the Brantas River to cut off the city's water supply and employing sophisticated siege warfare. After years of resistance, Surabaya finally fell in 1625. This victory was a turning point. It cemented Mataram's control over central and eastern Java, making Sultan Agung the undisputed master of the island's heartland. With each conquest, from Pasuruan to Tuban, his authority grew, and the dream of a unified Java moved closer to reality. But a new, foreign power was casting a long shadow over the region. The Dutch East India Company, or the VOC, from their fortified headquarters in Batavia, now Madaranda, Jakarta, the Dutch sought to monopolize the lucrative spice trade. Sultan Agung saw them not as mere traders, but as a direct threat to his sovereignty and his vision for Java. He viewed their presence as an unacceptable intrusion, a challenge that had to be met. The stage was set for an epic clash of civilizations, a confrontation that would define his reign and shape the future of the entire archipelago. He was not a ruler who would bow to foreign interests. He was a king who would fight for his land and his people. In 1628, Sultan Agung launched his first major assault on Batavia. It was a massive undertaking. Tens of thousands of Mataram soldiers marched hundreds of kilometers to lay siege to the Dutch fortress. They brought with them not just weapons, but also vast stores of rice and supplies, transported by a fleet of ships. The initial assault was fierce, a testament to the courage and determination of the Javanese warriors. They managed to dam the Siliwang River, attempting to both contaminate the Dutch water supply and flood the city. However, the VOC's superior naval power proved decisive. The Dutch fleet intercepted and destroyed Mataram's supply ships, cutting off the lifeblood of the besieging army. Faced with starvation and disease, Sultan Agung's forces were forced to retreat. But Sultan Agung was not a man to be deterred by a single failure. Defeat only hardened his resolve. He spent the next year meticulously planning a second attempt. He learned from his mistakes, understanding that logistics were just as important as battlefield valor. He established a series of hidden rice barns and supply depots along the route to Batavia, a brilliant logistical strategy designed to sustain a long siege. In 1629, the Mataram army returned, better prepared and more determined than ever. They launched another ferocious attack, putting the Dutch defenders under immense pressure. The fighting was brutal, with both sides suffering heavy casualties. For a moment, it seemed as if the Javanese might succeed. But a combination of Dutch cannon fire, a devastating outbreak of cholera in the Mataram camp, and a well-timed Dutch counterattack turned the tide. Once again, the Mataram forces were compelled to withdraw. Though he failed to capture Batavia, Sultan Agung's campaigns against the VOC were not in vain. They sent a powerful message. The Javanese would not be easily colonized. His defiance became a symbol of indigenous resistance against European encroachment, inspiring future generations of freedom fighters. His military endeavors solidified his reputation as a great warrior king, a leader who dared to challenge the might of a rising European power. Beyond the battlefield, Sultan Agung's legacy is perhaps even more profound. He was a visionary ruler who sought to create a new Javanese identity, one that harmonized Islamic faith with ancient Javanese traditions. He reformed the Javanese calendar, creating a unique system that blended the Soka lunar calendar with the Islamic Hijri calendar. This new calendar, which is still used in Java for cultural and spiritual purposes today, was a symbol of his syncretic vision. It was a way of saying that one could be both a devout Muslim and a proud Javanese, that the new faith could enrich rather than erase the old ways. He was also a great patron of the arts and culture. Under his rule, Javanese literature, music, dance, and philosophy flourished. He commissioned the writing of the Serat Centhini, an encyclopedic work that captured the vast knowledge and wisdom of Javanese civilization. The court of Mataram became a glittering center of culture, where the gamelan orchestra played intricate melodies and court dancers performed the sacred Batavia, a dance said to have been created by the Sultan himself. He standardized Javanese court etiquette and language, creating a refined and hierarchical social structure that reflected his ideal of a well-ordered cosmos. His reign is often remembered as a golden age of Javanese culture, a time when the arts reached new heights of sophistication and spiritual depth. Sultan Agung's administrative reforms were just as significant. He centralized the government, creating a more efficient bureaucracy to manage his vast kingdom. He established a legal code based on a blend of Islamic and Javanese customary law, known as the Sharia Alam. This legal framework brought a greater sense of order and justice to his realm. He also focused on agricultural development, understanding that a strong kingdom rested on a foundation of prosperity. He oversaw the construction of irrigation systems and promoted rice cultivation, ensuring the well-being of his subjects. He was not just a conqueror, he was a builder, a lawgiver, and a steward of his people. Sultan Agung passed away in 1645 and was buried at the royal cemetery of Imogiri, a site he himself had chosen. The location, high on a hillside overlooking his kingdom, is fitting for a ruler of his stature. His tomb has since become a sacred place of pilgrimage, a testament to the reverence in which he is held. His title, Sultan Agung, meaning Great Sultan, was bestowed upon him posthumously, and in 1975, the Republic of Indonesia officially declared him a national hero. His story is not just the tale of a powerful king, it is the story of a civilization's soul. It is a story of fierce independence, cultural pride, and an unyielding vision for a unified and glorious Java. His legacy continues to inspire, reminding us of a time when a Javanese king dared to shape his own destiny and challenge the world. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the life of one of Indonesia's greatest heroes. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe for more stories from history.